asking, we're talking about the discussion on the 40-hour work week now.
Go on.
Yes. And I've been looking at this item. I really didn't see that the committees had actually recommended one way or the other.
As through the chair,
Yeah.
sorry, I would like to mention that as a HR committee, we have recommend the COLA increase to the employees. We have also talked about the 40 hours, going back to the 40 hours, but it has to be approved by the boards.
Yes, that's what we're at.
That's why we're here doing that now.
So, okay, so let me just give a little bit more detail about what we recommended in the HR committee. We recommended that we would use the regional consumer price index for the previous pretty much calendar year. PUs as an increase within, at the fiscal year, which is June.
Right.
Beginning the subsequent fiscal year. So that it would change and be dynamic, and the whole purpose of that is so that the increase in cost of living in the region won't adversely impact our workers. Okay. So it's really the purpose of the whole COLA.
Right.
We thought that would be the best way to do it.
Yes. I did notice that we are the only one listed who recommended the 5%, looking at some of the other local cost of living adjustment surveys. And I see the very highest was Castro Valley's sanitary history, 4.2%. So I'm curious, I'm not opposed to the idea of 5%, but I'm curious to how we came to that conclusion.
Mr. Chairman, that's just some information. The recommendation is 2.3.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's dynamic. It's a dynamic piece. So if it goes up or down in the next year, then that will be the number we use.
Oh, I see. Oh,
It's 2.3% is the recommendation.
I see.
Our recommendation is to go with COLA.
Right.
Yeah, very good. I was just noticing that when we were looking at the compensation,
Yeah.
that it's looking at COLA at 5%. So it varies.
Yeah. That just gives you the information.
I see. Very good.
Then I would like to make the motion that we accept the 40-hour work week for the staff and also the COLA, or do we need to separate them?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I think it's together.
Second,
The COLA at 2.3.
2.3.
I have a question,
Okay.
if it's all right. I couldn't hear the discussion very clearly, but I was looking at in our packet, it says 5%, but in all the explanation, it says 2.3%. So I'm not sure which it is. Obviously, you all are recommending 5%, but what happens between 2.3% and 5%?
No, we are.
Actually, it's the 2.3. The 5 was just for information.
Oh,
It is the 2.3.
One of the options.
Yeah. So we're actually recommending the 2.3 COLA. That's what we're trying to vote on.
I see, okay.
yes.
So
All right.
built into this resolution, is it the kind of the annual process of looking at the previous year's CPI? Is that kind of built into this resolution?
And that's not how the resolution was stated, but it could be revised.
Yeah.
Because
Do you anticipate coming back on a yearly basis for
Right,
COLA?
that was a recommendation of the
Okay.
HR committee.
So
we keep
then
it
it would
dynamic.
only be
Okay.
2.3 for this year,
Right.
and then next year you could come back and review
Right.
a COLA increase.
I would like to amend the motion to include the
Annual review.
Annual review.
Annual review.
So, I'd say. So, is there any further discussion? The fiscal impact is shown here on both the COLA and the 40-hour increase. At the 2.3% COLA raise percentage, it's going to be $142,633 is the impact. And of course, the question is, when are we in a position to fund that?
Well, we went over that information with Alex, the financial, and that information is there. One of the reasons why it was brought back this year was because last year we didn't raise the rates. And the recommendation was to
Is there any further discussion on the item number?
I have another question. When will the 40-hour work week go into effect? Would it be the beginning of the fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's also when the new rates go into effect, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Very good.
so we will have to,
Excellent.
Right.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve
the
both
vote.
the COLA and the 40-hour work week. Are we ready for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Director Savage Johnson,
Yes.
Director Mitchell,
Yes.
Director Sykes Miesi,
Yes.
Director Yanez,
Yes,
Director Higgins.
Aye. Very good. Well, so be it.
None. I know staff is happy.
yeah, I think.
Very well.
Right.
All right. Moving right along, we're going to now consider item number 10, consideration for approval of amendments to the Board of Directors Policy Handbook.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
At the last board meeting, there was some issues brought up about a change in our policies and procedures manual for directors. And you asked our district legal counsel to come back with a recommendation for amendments, and she's had that in your packet, and she's ready to explain and go over that with you, answer any questions that you have.
Very good.
We've, in this case, it's been blue lined, the revisions, you can see they're on page 4 of the policy. The first change is adding section 6.4, and it describes the requirement of notification if you're going to not be able to attend a committee meeting, and to give that notice in advance to the extent possible. And then in addition, it talks about if a quorum cannot be established, the meeting will be canceled within 30 minutes of the scheduled time for when the committee meeting was to begin. Then the next change was to section 7.1.1, and previously, in order to get a attendance compensation for the meeting, if only one member attended, you needed board approval. Here, it's been revised that you shall receive compensation so long as service was rendered at the time of the meeting.
Very good.
So those are the changes.
Those are the changes. So we have heard what the proposed changes are. Is there any?
motion to accept the
discussion?
proposal.
I have a question.
Yeah.
To the chair.